Hi judges, I'm Rob Discoli, the designer of Elemental Masters, and I'm going to give a brief 5-minute overview of my game. It should be noted this is only a prototype. My game will have full artwork once I can find the right artist. Any changes to the game would be cosmetic. Elemental Masters, or EM for short, is a dice-rolling, combat, living card game that's played with a single deck that all players share. You play the role of an Elemental Master, a martial artist who can attack, cast spells, and summon an army of creatures to do his bidding by tapping into the 4 elemental powers: earth, fire, water, and air. The objective is simple: defeat all opposing masters controlled by your opponents by taking their health down to 0. Last man standing is the winner. The game plays 2 to 5 people, and an average game for 2 takes about 30 minutes once they're familiar with the rules. I'll talk more about Masters in a bit, but first I want to show the 3 types of cards in the deck that you'll be playing with. The 3 types of cards are spells, enhancements, and creatures. All cards have a cost and an elemental type. All cards range in cost from 1 to 6. Creatures are constructs of elemental energy that the master commands. In addition to their cost and type, they all have a unique ability, an attack value, and a health. When their health reaches 0, they are removed from the game. All damage is cumulative, marked by damage tokens. Enhancements are augments to your master. An earth enhancement, for example, will give you more health, while fire enhancements let you deal more damage when attacking. Spells vary in terms of effect. Some spells heal you, some deal damage, and some let you draw cards. They may be played by any master at any time, but their effects only last until the end of the turn. That's it for types of cards in the game. Now back to the masters. Masters don't have cost because you begin the game as one. There are 12 different masters to choose from. Each has a different ability that will guide your playstyle. An important mechanic of EM is the readiness of cards. There are 2 possible states: ready, which is a vertical card, or exhausted, which is a card turned by 90 degrees. Readiness means different things for different types of cards, as you'll see in a bit. I talked about how every card has a cost. This cost is called power. It's the default resource of the game. In order to gain power, your master must bind it to himself by taking a power card from the power deck and placing it next to him. You do this automatically once per turn. You can only spend a power once by exhausting it, but they refresh every turn. So if you use a power to play a card, you will have to wait until next turn to use it again. Okay, now that I've gotten this out of the way, let's talk about the main part of the game, combat. In EM, all combat encounters are resolved by dice. During a fight, a creature's attack power represents how many dice they roll. A roll of 1, 2, 3 is a hit, and a roll of a 4, 5, or 6 is a miss. All combat is directional, so you choose what you want your creatures to attack and when. In this example, a fire creature is going to attack an air creature. The fire creature has an attack value of 3, and the air creature has an attack value of 2. So the fire creature is going to roll 3 dice, and on a 1, 2, or 3, he'll deal that many points of damage. So he has 1, 3, 2, 5, so that's 2 misses and 1 hit. So you'll take 1 damage counter, and you'll place it on the defending creature. Now because this creature was ready, which means vertical, he gets to roll his attack value against this creature. So he rolls 2 dice, and again he's going to hit on a 1, 2, or 3. 3, 4, so 1 hit, 1 miss. So this creature now gets a damage counter, and that's the end of combat. If instead of him being ready, he was exhausted during the attack, my creature would get a 1 dice bonus for attacking a weakened creature. 3 hits that time. Put 3 counters on him. He would not get a chance to counterattack because he is exhausted. Before dice are rolled, masters have the opportunity to cast spells. If I had the power available, I could have cast a spell that gave my creature additional attack, or my opponent could have played a spell that negates the first 2 hits received this turn. Like I said before, your master isn't just a magician casting spells in his tower from afar. He's on the field of battle right next to his minions, and if he wants to directly engage his enemies in hand-to-hand combat, he can do so. Battle with masters works the same way. Declare your attack and roll your attack value. There are additional rules to balance out master attacking that I will not be discussing in this video. The last system I want to discuss is wounding. Wounding is the component I think is most unique to my game. In most games, when your objective is to deplete health, being at full health and being 1 point away from defeat has no impact on the way the game's mechanics operate. In EM, whenever a master takes damage, in addition to reducing your health, he gets a wound counter equal to the damage he took, as points on a die. Once the wound hits 6, you must draw a wound from the wound pile. There are 30 wounds to draw from. 20 are crippling wounds that serve as a permanent penalty to your master, as either additional cost to play cards or loss of abilities normally given. There are 10 flesh wounds that cause no long-term effect, but deal additional damage that compounds the more you receive. As a quick demo, assuming I have 4 points of damage on my wound die, and my opponent is attacking my master and hits me twice, that will give me 2 additional damage and bring my wound total to 6. At this point, I now must take a wound card and put it in front of me. So my wound is -1 attack. So as before my attack was 2, now my attack is 1 for the rest of the game. So whenever I attack or counterattack, I will only be rolling 1 die instead of 2. If instead of this attack card I had drawn a flesh wound, I would have taken 2 additional damage. And if I had taken another flesh wound, I would then take 4 additional damage, and it doubles every time you draw new wounds. The average health is around 20, depending on the master, so flesh wounds really add up over time. This wraps up my review of Elemental Masters. This is in no way covers all the rules and card interactions, but it gives a good review of the mechanics and gameplay. If you want to know more, you can find the full rules, card list, and more gameplay examples on robdascoli.com/elementalmasters. Thanks for watching.